Hey, what's up, Epic family and friends of Epic Church? This is Pastor James here. And listen, we're coming to you today with stories from the storm. We're getting some of our Hurricane Ida stories and just being able to communicate. Listen, we've been through some things, but even through the things that we've been through, God has been faithful. And not only that, but He has used the lives of people, our brothers, our sisters. He's used the lives of people to be a blessing to people. And so we want to kind of share some of those stories. And on today, we have friends of Epic Family. They've been with us even before we planted the church. We have Courtney and Luke. They're coming on to share a little bit about their story. Can you guys give a great big old thumbs up there at home, those of you who are watching for our family, Luke and Courtney, as they come on today?
Hi.
Hey guys,
Hey.
it's
What's
Luke
up?
Garris and Courtney Garris. We're honored to be here with you guys and to share a little bit about our story with how we personally experienced Hurricane Ida, along with many of you watching this today.
Yeah. So Courtney and Luke, tell us exactly, where did you guys live as Hurricane Ida was making its way on shore? Where were you guys at?
So we live in Raceland, Louisiana, which is southwest of New Orleans. If you're not from the area or familiar with that town, as you saw, the path of Hurricane Ida coming up into Louisiana, Raceland was one of those southern towns that the eye of Hurricane Ida went over. And that's where our house was. We had to leave our town from emergency evacuation, mandatory evacuation. And so we took our family up to Arkansas just to make sure that we were well clear of such a big storm. And up there in Arkansas, we kind of prayed and wished for the best as far as trying to make sure that our family and friends who did stay behind were safe, trying to keep in touch with them and stuff like that.
Now, Raceland, of course, on the news nationally, people hear about New Orleans, but they don't hear too much about Raceland. Tell me, what is the condition that Raceland is in right now?
Well, we had first heard when we were in Arkansas that it was pretty bad there. And so when we headed back home from Arkansas, we brought our children to Houston to be with my parents and my sister. Your daddy. And we heard that it was pretty bad. When that happened, we decided to leave our family and just head straight back and check it out. And when we got there, it was complete destruction. We're talking every light pole just totally snapped in half. The wind damage reports now are seeing was probably 3 times greater than Katrina. Katrina was more of a flood event at a level of a hurricane category 3. This event was more of a wind event, which means that the flooding was bad in certain places like Laplace, but places like Raceland were affected by wind damage. Sustained winds at 130, 140 miles per hour for a long period of time did a lot of damage. You're talking there's not a grocery store that didn't get affected. Not almost every home has damage. And the damage isn't like what you would normally think of. It's where roof shingles were gone, where soffit and fascia, where things underneath the house were damaged, and then therefore the wind and the rain came in at a sideways angle or through, as in our case, through the roof. Our ridge cap came off of our roof, so we had water pouring in to the house through the walls. And so it's a different type of event. And so when we got there, we didn't think our damage was that bad. We actually filled up a trailer to come home and help people. We're used to being the helpers on the ground. But when we got there, we recognized that we were in a very different situation. As we realized that our whole living room, the walls, the ceiling, the kitchen, the floors were wet from wind-driven rain. And as the time went on, the floors dried out, but the walls didn't, and we got mold. And this is the situation that a lot of people are in our town and in South Louisiana.
This left our house completely uninhabitable, and it's almost like the place that I'm sure some of you guys, or many of you guys, can relate to this. Is the place that is your shelter, the place that is your heart, and that you minister from your home, is all of a sudden hazardous.
Yeah.
For you to even be in.
Yeah. And so once the black mold sets in, you really can't be in there, and you have to start remediation. So we are in Houston. We've kind of taken our family here because I have family that can be of assistance as Luke goes back and forth to Louisiana. But we're in Houston, and we found a place to stay for now.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So you guys are settling down in Houston. So basically right now, it's not like in New Orleans where we're back home. Now we're still recovering. We still have debris all over the place. We have trash that still hasn't been picked up just yet. But at least we're home. We have an air condition that we can go into, and the gas stations are working. But you guys can't go home anytime soon. So you've pretty much settled here temporarily while you kind of gather life back together. Again, kids are checked back in school here in Houston, Texas, so they won't go back to school where they started school this year. They have to pick up in the new spot, in the new space.
That's right.
That's correct.
How was your evacuation process? I know you said you went to Arkansas first and went home to try to help and saw the devastation that you guys encountered yourselves. But now that it's been a month later, how are you guys? First, how was the evacuation? And then secondly, how are you guys planning to recover here in Houston to prepare, whichever way y'all going to go? So evacuation and settling here in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, so kind of like Courtney had mentioned for the evacuation, here's the thing about our house, which took the damage that it did. Historically, our house, we've known that particular location as kind of a safe haven. We happen to be 17 feet above sea level at that location. Yeah. So in previous storms, last 30 plus years, it was relatively unscathed, maybe a few shingles here and there. And we were able to go back and to be a source of refuge and stuff like that, and to minister to other people with our home as a base of operation. And so we mentally and spiritually prepared our hearts to do that when we evacuated out to Arkansas. And so we evacuated to Arkansas.
Yeah, we only went there for a few days during the storm, from about Thursday through the Sunday. On Monday, we drove immediately to my sister's house here in Houston to meet up with family and get our children some care while we went back. When we went back home, we recognized that it was going to be a lot of cleanup. It was a lot of destruction. So we cleaned up our home the best we could. We got all the wet stuff out of the house. And then we came back to Houston, where we got a FEMA hotel. And so we were in a FEMA hotel for the 3 weeks after the storm, here a few miles away from my sister's house.
Yes.
Wow.
And then while we were in the hotel, I needed something for the kids to do. So, needed some normalcy. So we started them in school. And then that's whenever we decided to, stay here, because we recognize that the process of recovery is going to take a lot longer. Fighting with insurance companies, gutting the house, as well as the home we were living in was my parents' home. So they are having to deal with the reconstruction of their home, as well as we're dealing with the reconstruction of our rental properties.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot that goes into it, and it's going to take a long time.
So in some of these final moments, how have you guys kept it together? What has been something that's been really feeding your hope? What is it that you guys have been doing to push through this, and how can you encourage other people who have not yet returned, one, and then two, those who have returned? What type of encouragement do they need? So here's my question again. What's fueling your hope? What encouragement can you give to us who have returned, whether it be to help others, whether it be to be grateful? What encouragement can you give to those who have returned? And what is it that's feeding your hope?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, of course, the biggest cry in our hearts, and I'm sure that many of you watching this, the biggest cry in your heart is total restoration. And not only total restoration, but the items that you've lost, the memories that you've lost, and the items that we lost, and memories we lost, and the businesses. We had businesses in New Orleans as well that we lost. Our hearts cry and prayer is that all of that be restored. And in the meantime, I guess I'll call it the whisper that we're getting in our heart that's bringing peace from the Lord is like that song, A Million Little Miracles. And we know that God is going to come through, and he's going to restore, and he's going to bring that large miracle for our life, and restore our home and our place that we have our culture there in the New Orleans area. But for now, he says, my child, look at these little miracles that I'm doing for you every single day. Every turn that we've made, every step that we've taken, he's flooded our life
Yes.
with abundances of little miracles. And it would be so remiss of me to take even a single step and not see it for what it is. And it's God's intervention in our life. Even in the midst of this devastation, in the midst of this hardship, he's taking care of our children. He's taking care of the clothes on our backs. We have, people who have just handed us little gift card to the store. Hey, get your kids some a few outfits for what you've lost, or fill your refrigerator, or little things like that. It's overwhelming to see the build up of little miracles.
And I'll piggyback on that. Whenever Luke and my mother kind of looked at me and said, you probably need to stay in Houston, I didn't want to hear that at first. I never thought about leaving, the New Orleans area, my home. It never was a consideration for me. So whenever Luke and some of my family were just like, maybe you should find a way to create stability for your family now. It was hard at first, but I think my answer to getting through it was creating stability for my family and for my kids. Even if it's temporary, creating a place where they feel at home, they feel loved, they feel seen, they feel safe. That is what I'm trying to create for my kids. And also not living in the past of what I didn't have, and not living in the future, but the future will come. But the life is right here in the present. And I have to find a way to stay here and see, like Luke was saying, the miracles and the blessings and where God is right here in this moment. Not just dwelling in the past or yearning for better days, but what's the best in this day. Life is right here in this moment, and that's been what's been carrying me. Where is the life in this moment?
Mm-hmm. That is so good. Those of you who are watching, man, that's encouraging to us. You may be in New Orleans, you may be around the country watching us, but I think what they just said is very, very hopeful for whatever storm you may be facing. Don't look in the past. God is right here with us. And then notice those little miracles, those little blessings that God has been taking care of us through whatever storm we may be facing. I think we can all hold on to that. As we get ready to jump off, Epic family is watching, friends of Epic Church. Y'all, Courtney and Luke, they are family to us. These are our people, man. And we're here in Houston with them. And I'm grateful to be here with them. But Courtney, Luke, what are the top 3 things, if we can pitch in and help and do anything, what are the top 3 things that we can do right now in this season for you all during time of recovery?
We've been so blessed. We've had to, basically buy everything new. So we've, refurnished a small apartment here, just 2 bedrooms, but, we're blessed. And so if anything, it's just, little prayer, first of all, but what's been the most helpful is when people are, little gift cards here and there to go to Walmart or to buy things. We don't have ketchup. We don't have, things like that,
Yeah.
little things that they add up. And, we're still paying our mortgage on a house, and now we're paying rent, and we're talking to the insurance company, but it's still, these are real times for us, and we've been blessed. Another part of that is finding a church. We found a church in the area that has been very helpful, and bringing meals, and the school district has been helpful to give us clothes. I mean, things that I couldn't even think to request, but God's come through in that way. And so just little ways to get finances to buy diapers, or things like that, or have been the most helpful.
Yeah, it was funny. I realized two interesting scenarios. One was we were bringing our sons to school the other day, and we had a little bit of a cold front come in, and it was like, oh wait, we lost all of their jackets and we lost their winter clothes. And we're
We
in
have
Houston.
a few things we can pick up and bring it back to Houston. I think, but they're growing. Kids grow, and they grow out of things. That's the other part of it too. And so, but we want to thank everybody. Luke's family has been pitching in from Dallas and all over the United States. He has a large family, and they've been pitching in. My mother and father have been helpful. The church, Cross Church and Epic, have all been helpful. Our friends and family have all helped us through this time, and that has been. So thank you to anybody watching, friends and family, if you've helped us. Thank you so much. We love you. You're a blessing. Thank you, Epic Church, Pastor James, and Lady Sky. Thank you so much for everything that y'all poured into us and given to us. We are forever grateful.
Amen. We appreciate the both of you all. Love y'all so very much. Thank you for sharing your story. Epic family, friends of Epic Church, it's not over. Let's keep working. Let's keep pushing. Let's continue to move forward to do what God has called us to do. That's to be the hands and feet of Jesus. That's what I believe. Our 4 foundations here at Epic Church, listen, we believe in being devoted to God's word. We are devoted to prayer. We're devoted to generosity, and we are devoted to community. Those are our 4 foundations. So now is the better time. Now is the best time ever to continue to stand on those foundations. Thank y'all so much for watching tonight. If you want to support, if you want to give, if you want to reach out, listen, you can text us at 97,000. That text message will come directly to us, and we'll reach back out to you and let you know what are some of the ways that you can support and help during this time. Y'all stay tuned for more stories coming. These are stories from the storm. This time is Hurricane Ida. Maybe you may be somewhere up north, somewhere on the west coast, maybe even up on the east. And your storm may not be a natural disaster. Maybe it may be a spiritual storm. Maybe it may be an emotional storm. But what we've learned from this story today is don't look around to your past. The future is going to come. Let's look in the present and look at what God is doing right now today, even in this season of storms. I want to encourage you, keep looking to Jesus. He is the author and the finisher of our faith. Love y'all so much. Have a great one. Peace.